We good? We on? All right, Cowboys fans. We got us a new head coach. Being met with some mixed reviews. I don't know. I mean, the only other time I heard the name Schottenheimer was Marty Schottenheimer. So obviously this guy is the son of Marty Schottenheimer. It ain't no word on what he's done himself in the NFL. So this is a weird ass hire. I don't think too many Cowboys fans are excited about this hire, and it's making people wonder, what's really going on with Jerry Jones. Is he really that narcissistic that he can't get us a real coach in to coach the Cowboys? He has to run everything. There's some rumors about, him going with this guy to try to, groom Jason Witten as a coordinator of some type. Not interviewing any of the other names out there seriously. From Ben Johnson to Aaron Glenn, even Pete Carroll, and hiring somebody that's already in an organization that is having issues with discipline. I don't see how hiring an internal figure is going to help fix that. And the reason why I hadn't heard the nigga name is because apparently he's the offensive coordinator of Dallas. But you can't say he really did much, because the entire reason that the Cowboys got rid of Kellen Moore was because Mike McCarthy wanted to call the plays. He wanted to call the damn play. So if he going to call the plays, or he has been calling the plays, what has Brian Schottenheimer been doing but just filling a seat? It'd be different if he was one of the hottest offensive coordinators in the game right now, and other teams was wanting to hire him as head coach. But this is completely out the blue. It makes people wonder what's really going on with Jerry. Is he tanking the season? Does he want us to win? Or is he just more like, interested in, building the brand and making money? So I got a couple videos that I want to review and kind of see what the convo is about surrounding this hire. And so I'm gonna sit back, put it on a good old PS5, and let it run, and just hop in at the end.
Friday night, my phone rings. It's Jerry Jones. He says, that Brian Schottenheimer, he's been an assistant coach all his life. He's nothing more than an assistant coach. That's the way he's been. That's the way it's worked out in the past. Let me tell you something about Brian Schottenheimer right now. He ain't no assistant coach anymore. He's the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. And a man who essentially grew up around football, the son of Marty Schottenheimer, a man who you know very well, Rex, having coached them in New York, now takes over in Dallas. Brian Schottenheimer interviewed for head coaching jobs back when he was on your staff, turned down some other opportunities, never got the opportunity. And Jerry Jones, I'm going to say this right now, some of the Cowboys fans may not have been excited about this hire, but Jerry Jones could not have been more excited about this hire.
I like the hire. Brian Schottenheimer is an outstanding football coach, first off. Outstanding coaching. And he never coached for me, he coached with me. All right? I put a lot on his plate. He is ready for this moment. I don't care what people are going to say, the criticisms. It's not warranted, okay? I get it. He's part of a team that, you fired a head coach. No. This guy, by the way, he interviewed for the Jet job. That was my number one competition, and I got it. And it says a lot for him to stay in the building and coach with me. And I have a ton of respect for this man. Obviously, coming from a coaching family, that's going to give him a leg up. He's not intimidated by the dang devil.
Kick off your watch party with Specs Game Day Rate Sale. Cheers to savings.
Damn commercials and shit.
So to me, he can handle this. It's an important thing being a Dallas Cowboy.
Okay. First of all, we got Rex Ryan. I don't know how much credence I put with Rex. He had an average coaching career. He's another coach with a last name that you kind of remember their dad more than what they did. You know what I mean? You remember Buddy Ryan and the Chicago Bears in '85, or even the Gangrene Eagles. But Rex Ryan was kind of a mediocre coach. And, his brother Rob Bryant was our defensive coordinator in Dallas for a period. So, all right, well, at least we got one vote of confidence on old Schottenheimer. Let's see what else is going on.
Now, the national spotlight's on you and things, so I think he can handle it.
I mean, I love it. Give a guy a shot. I mean, give Shotty his shot, basically. And so, I mean, I don't have any problem with it at all. I've heard great things about him being a coach like you just said, Rex. I think from a player perspective in the Dallas Cowboy locker room, I'm thinking, so why'd we fire Mike in terms of Mike McCarthy and what's going on? Because right now, I mean, I hope they become incredibly motivated, and Schottenheimer knows this, that you're about to watch an NFC Championship game with two NFC East opponents.
Two of our rivals in the NFC Championship game.
And you're searching for a new head coach. That's how far that they've fallen off. So the motivation has got to be high in this head, and Schotty's got to be the head coach to bring him back to at least win that division.
I'm going to push back a little bit on both you guys. Listen, I wish Schotty well. I know him a little bit. I think he's a long time, really good football coach. He's never been a head football coach, right? And he hasn't interviewed for a head coaching job in a long time. And to think about how this entire process went down, it makes me question if the Dallas Cowboys are even serious about winning. Listen to the group they interviewed. I mean, they interviewed Kellen Moore, Robert Saleh, Leslie Frazier, and Brian Schottenheimer, right? You didn't even take a look at the most promising candidates out there.
Exactly.
You haven't been to an NFC Championship game since 1990.
And I'm gonna just jump in right here. The reason they haven't interviewed some of the most promising names out there, because these guys, these promising names, Ben Johnson, I forget some of the others, Pete Carroll, these guys are going to push back on the things they want to do with the team. They're going to push back when players come into their office or they go up into Jerry's office. They're not going to run the Cowboys like a museum. They're going to run the Cowboys like a football team. And Jerry has never had a real coach that's going to push back on the shit he wants to do with the Cowboys since he got rid of Jimmy Johnson. And we see how this turned out. They won one Super Bowl with Jimmy's team after the firing. And the only coach he's had with any success that has had any type of backbone and say-so has been Bill Parcells, and that was years and years and years ago. Since then, we get the Wade Phillipses and Dave Campos and goddamn... who else? We get,
Daddy?
Wait a second, baby. Go back downstairs.
Well, Dad, I have to get something real quick.
Go back downstairs. I'm recording. What was I at? Since then, we get the Dave Campos, Wade Phillipses, Jason Garrett's. And now, hopefully the guy does good, because I'm a Cowboys fan. I am not rooting against him. I hope he does a good job. But I'm like Michael Irvin. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see it. I don't see the big splash, the big culture change that you need with the Cowboys right now to really get the most out of that team. Let it roll.
That is the worst in the conference by a long shot.
Yep.
Next is the Bears, and it was 2010. So by all measures, from a postseason success standpoint, you are the worst team in the conference, right? And you just made this, the entire thing is bizarre. It doesn't make sense. I like Shotty. Is this an upgrade over Mike McCarthy? Like, Mike McCarthy brought
Feels
in
like
from...
He's going to have to learn.
Feels like a downgrade.
Coach, I'm sorry to interrupt you, Alex, but absolutely. I mean, I know that's going to be some type. There's obviously going to be growing pains with him being the head coach, and does that cost him one or two games? It could.
There's an irony in this. When Marty Schottenheimer worked at ESPN, which he did briefly between coaching jobs, he said to me once, if you are the coach of a football team and your players are looking over your shoulder at anyone, you have no chance to win.
Exactly.
That was Marty Schottenheimer who said that. Does anyone not think that his son Brian now walks into a situation where the players are looking over his shoulder, and we all know who they're looking over his shoulder at? The perception of this, why are you shaking your head like that?
Who they look over their shoulder at?
At Jerry Jones.
Yeah. Go back down.
Jerry Jones, who has been in
Go back
control
downstairs,
of
I'm recording.
everything
Go
there
back, you know,
forever. The perception out there in the world right now is that Jerry has been the owner and the general manager, and now
Owner, general manager, want to be head coach, president.
Right now, whether it is fair or not. This has not in any way a value judgment about Brian Schottenheimer. It is about the Cowboys, the way they do business, and how they have doubled or even tripled down on it now.
now.
But this is the way Dallas has always done it. And this is the way Jerry's always done it. So if the players are looking over their shoulder, over the head coach shoulder, it's not anything that they haven't done in the past.
And they're not the right players.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
If you got players that are doing that, and you think the owner, you're going to go to him instead of the head coach, it's the wrong type of players, and you're going to lose anyway.
That's why they haven't been back there in 30 years. They've been conditioned to this. You get drafted into that organization. This is all you know. Jerry's the boss and everything. And I think now, right, like he's putting this staff together is what it seems like. Again, nothing against Schotty, but he didn't even look at all these coaching candidates out there that were so promising. This was last minute, like all his negotiations this entire year.
But didn't you say Jerry likes to do things his way, and he likes to see things and identify things that others didn't? Many thought the Dallas Cowboys wouldn't have been a good investment. He did. Many thought many of the marketing deals he did weren't good ideas. He did.
All right, that's a good point what I'm saying. Some people think that they're such geniuses that they can see what other people don't see. So, he may have struck, lightning in a bottle when he first bought the Dallas Cowboys, and they had initial success, and he picked the right coach in Jimmy Johnson. And he is thinking, for the last 30 years, I can just recreate that, and I don't need anybody else to tell me what to do. I'm the genius here. I'm Jerry Jones. I'm the owner of the team. So I can find the players, put the players in the right place. I can be the general manager. I don't need a coach. I don't need a coach that ain't gonna do what I want him to do. I need a coach that's just gonna mind and do what the fuck I say do, because I'm the genius here, and I'm the one who picked this guy and picked this guy and picked this guy. And if we win another Super Bowl, goddamn it, it's gonna be because of me, Jerry Jones, not because of the genius of the coach or because of the coaching staff or general manager or any players. And this is his ego will be the reason we continue to struggle, because we should have been the 2010 Patriots. Patriots won 3 in 2000 and 3 in the 2010s. When we was winning our chips and we was back-to-back champs and we had a chance to three-peat, the Patriots had 0 fucking titles. That organization had no NFL titles, had very little success. Then they get Belichick, they start their culture there, and they go on a run, and they really are the team of the decade for the first 2 decades of the 2000s, the Patriots. They rebuild it now, and then now we got the Chiefs. Only one, as of this video, they 1 game away from a three-peat. So either we're going to have a team to surpass us, be the first three-peat team, or we're going to have a team in our division that has won. The Eagles have won 2. This will be their 3rd Super Bowl if they win this one, since we won our last one. So we need a serious culture change, and what we need Jerry to do is just be the owner, sign the checks, find good people in general management, coaching, find a good general manager to general manage, find a good coach to coach, and then get out the way. Because when it comes to football, I was in the Army, I've been on teams. When it comes to teams, you need discipline, and you need the daily discipline of training, weight room, being on time for meetings. Those things keep you locked in and focused on winning a championship. But the Cowboys, when they get lackadaisical, they get to smelling their own shit. They got the pretty uniforms, they got the pretty stadium, but then, and they got all the big names, and in the regular season, they get you by. But in the playoffs, they don't be ready, and they get their head beat the fuck in the playoffs. We 3 seasons with Mike McCarthy, 12-5, 12-5, 12-5, thumped. First game in the playoffs. I think we got 1 division, we got like 2 divisional wins under Dak Prescott. Thumped in the playoffs. It just shows that we don't have the culture that permeates discipline and winning in football, especially a contact sport. Because it's hard to get up, it's hard to get trained, it's hard to get fit, you know what I'm saying, in order to go play a football game if you're not in shape. And if you kind of gotten fat and lazy and you smelling your own shit and think you the Dallas Cowboys and you just going to walk into a title, these teams come in hungry and they beat you in your head. 2 years ago, when we had the best defense in the game, one of the top defenses, we had Michael Parsons going crazy, getting sacks and interceptions. teams figured us out. They figured out that our defense is built around pass rush. They figured out that our secondary is built around the pressure of the front seven. And you know what they did? Ever since last year when we were 12-5, we got thumped out of the playoffs, to all the losses that we got this year, you know what teams started doing? We're going to run right through the Cowboys. We're going to run right at them. We're going to run the opposite way of Micah, and we're going to go run right at that defense. We're going to make them tackle. And they realized, the first team saw it. The first team did it. Aaron Jones, last year when they came in the Cowboys and thumped us out of the playoffs, Aaron Jones, Jordan Love, and the Packers, and even before that. But when they saw the first team have success doing that, then the Falcons came into Jerry Land and did that shit. The Saints came into Jerry Land with they running back and did it. The Ravens came in to our home and beat us up upside the head with Derrick Henry. They just ran the ball down our defense's throat. And they said the Achilles heel of the way this defense, as it's constructed, even as it's constructed today with Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence and Trayvon Diggs, even as it's constructed today, the Achilles heel of this defense, these guys don't want to tackle in open field. We get our halfback through the first line of scrimmage into the second line of the defense. He gonna get big yards. He gonna get big chunks. 7 yards, 8 yards, first down, touchdown, and they just can't get us off the field. We couldn't get the teams off the field, and they ended up beating us. They didn't drop back and pass on us no more. They realized, you know what? You drop back on these Cowboys, and they have the defensive coordination to pass rush and protect in the secondary. But you know what? They don't want to, and they can't stop the run. Worth a shit. And if Michael Parsons is the only one chasing the run down, we just go on the outside. If he's on the left, we go to the center or right. If he's on the right, we go to the center or left. And we beat the Cowboys. Easy. That's how we've been beat. That's how we got thumped out of the playoffs. And even with the losses that we had last year at 12-5. And then this year at 7-10. Every team that beat us a number of ways this year. But the teams that really whooped our ass was the teams with a solid running game. We couldn't get them off the field. They just kept running up the field. 7 yards, 6 yards, 8 yards, first down. First down, touchdown. Next thing you know, we down 14-0, 17-0. And guess what? We don't have no running game our goddamn self. Because we went, instead of getting a running back, we went nostalgic and went back in the kitty and got a running back that we cut in Zeke. Now, is it Zeke? Yeah, Zeke. Talking about eat. The nigga wasn't eating nothing all year. Let's keep playing.
Things his way. He's identified this guy. And by the way, like there's some great track record of teams hiring head coaches when they fired 7 or 8 of them every single year. So he's identified this guy that he believes where some coordinators are great head coaches, some coordinators are not great head coaches.
He has not been to an NFC championship game since 1995. You're just going to keep doing the same thing? And again, I come back to, are you serious about winning? Or is it just about ticket sales and being the most valuable franchise in the world? Right? What is more important?
You've got to be mentally tough if you're in that locker room, if you're a player. I understand that. But I'm telling you, if you've got a bunch of players that look at a head coach and don't have respect for a coach, because this is the first time he's been a head coach, but he's paid his dues. Yes. That's a guaranteed fact. Would you agree, Rex?
No, 100%.
And if you got players that still want to look beyond him to Jerry Jones, it's the wrong kind of players, and that's why they're losing.
Teddy, can I send you a message? Can you just look over your shoulder there? Just look behind you a little bit. You see what Dak has over there behind him? You guys don't think Jerry Jones is always lurking in the background? Oh my God!
There you go. There he go. Flying in the fucking practice. Hey, how y'all doing? Shaking ass and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so show me, go back and show me all the pictures of Robert Kraft standing there behind Tom Brady before big games. Show me the pictures of all the other owners in the NFL who do that. It doesn't happen. This is not
right there.
29 things don't keep happening a certain way or not happening for 29 years by coincidence, and there is only one thread of commonality that ties that entire thing together. I'm sorry, but it needed to be said.
What's up? This is Jason Kelsey. I'm with Nick Sirianni in his office right before the NFC Championship game against the Washington Commanders.
Let's see. Was that they going in and went on to talk about that? That's kind of, they got a press comment. I'll check that out. I might do another video breaking that down, the full press conference later. That's gonna be it for this one. I still don't know. I think let me stop this here. I think I side with Michael Irvin. You know, I'm not really excited about the hire, but I'm also not rooting against my boys. You know what I'm saying? It's always gonna be that blue and silver. So, you know, I'm hoping that, you know, hey, some of these guys had spoke highly of Brian Schottenheimer. They know him personally. They know his work ethic. You know, and maybe there's something that we just as fans haven't seen yet, and maybe he'll surprise us. Maybe we win the Super Bowl next year. Maybe he is the sauce that we need at head coach. Yet to be seen. And so, you know, we just have to hold off and wait until, you know, the offseason and, you know, preseason and next season to see if this was a good hire, bad hire, and really the postseason. I really get all excited. I'm not getting excited, tooting the horn, boop, boop, we back and all that shit in the regular season no more. I'm tired of looking, looking stupid. The past 30 years have shown that the Cowboys are going to show out in the regular season, if they even make the playoffs. And then when they get to the playoffs, you be like, damn, did they leave their uniform? Did they leave their helmets in Dallas? Or did they leave them at home? Because you don't even recognize them on the field most of the time in the playoff. Somebody in the chat, if you're watching this video, can correct me. I think we've got 3 playoff wins since 95. I may be right. I may be off on that, but we got 3, 4, or 5 playoff wins total in the past 30 years, which is not good. And neither win has gotten us as far as the NFC Championship game. We've either gotten to the playoffs as wild card, won the wild card game, then lost the divisional game, or we went 12-5 or 13-4. We get the wild card bye. We got the home field advantage in the divisional game, and we shit the bed in the divisional game. But we haven't been able to win both the wild card and division to get to the NFC Championship game in over 30 years. And, you know, hopefully this Brian Schottenheimer, I remember that reminded me of that rhyme by Eminem, where he uses Marty Schottenheimer, cursing at these players worse than Marty Schottenheimer. Maybe Brian come in there with that energy like Marty Schottenheimer and get the shit straight. I don't know. We yet to see. We'll see next year. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing and liking the video if you got some entertainment out of it. Peace.